The faces of former political prisoners line the walls of the cafe where Simon Panek hosts events and exhibitions. Men and women who served years in communist prisons, as did Panek's father. When communism began to crumble in 1989, Panek, aged just 21, led students in Prague to occupy the university buildings, and then joined Vaclav Havel in negotiating the handover of power.
To go to the demonstration, to spread some leaflets, then to join the student movement, that was absolutely natural for me, because I had a feeling that I have to do something. First, the desire for freedom, and the second thing, I was really kind of unhappy living in the system which was based on the lies.
Nevertheless, were you surprised at how quickly the whole regime collapsed?
We expected that it might take another month or even years, so we were surprised how quickly the communism fall down and how quickly the Communist Party basically gave up. It's usually not happened more than once in the life that you can be so close to the fact that the ugly, hated communist regime which basically oppressed your parents, influenced your life, is falling down. You are less than 22 and you could be a part of that.
But what followed in many former communist states was war and political turmoil. Panek chose to get involved. He set up People in Need, an organisation to provide humanitarian aid and support for human rights across Eastern Europe and beyond.
We started People in Need as an answer to the wars in the Balkans and in the former Soviet Union. So our first few years, between let's say 92, 93 until 97, it was about fundraising the money and sending the airplanes and traveling down with the trucks and convoys into the war. But very soon, young students from Minsk, from Belarus, knock on our door saying, well, we were kicked out from the school by Lukashenko because of taking part in the demonstrations. Could you do something about what's happening in our country? Then not much later, the kids of the Cuban immigrants basically knock on our door saying, we are still under the Castro. You know what does it mean to be under the communist dictatorship? Could you help us to send the things to the island, the books of Vaclav Havel, some small laptops, other things, because you know how to behave and how to basically deal with the secret police, how to deal with the communist system, not like Americans. When they arrived to Cuba, everyone recognized them immediately, and that's a disaster for the both sides.
The Ukraine crisis is now People in Need's biggest challenge. Amid the destruction of fighting in the east of the country, it has continued to run a project supporting independent journalism, now arguably more important than ever. But it has had to scale back other work to focus on providing basic aid.
For us, Ukraine is a complicated case, because we were in Ukraine for 8 years, working a bit with civil society in Kiev, but we were mainly in Crimea. It's gone, of course, but in the same time, there is a big humanitarian crisis. So we run already quite big humanitarian operation in the east. The winter is coming. You have up to hundreds of thousands of people expelled from the houses. That's the top priority for the moment.
Let's return to this country. For very many people, one word would really sum up how they approach this anniversary. 25 years on, it's disillusion.
For me, the message out of that is that we are still in a transition. That the transition basically takes much more than we expected. But if I remember again my father and what he was saying in 1989, just keep in mind, it will take same time to repair it and repair the society and repair the country for which time the communists were destroying it.
As Prague marks 25 years of freedom, this is a sobering thought. People in Need has also been dealing with the challenges of post-communism here, with programmes tackling social exclusion or combating racism. In this year of anniversaries across Eastern Europe, there is still much to do.